6-15, forward Joey Richard. At defense, number 18, Carter Buckman. 26, Logan Caldwell. And rounding out the defense, Carter Tompkins, number 3. And in goal, number 34, Lincoln Grader. Your starting lineup for Big City Mohawks. Number 97, Aiden Hingemeister. Number 6, Hudson Carney. Number 13, Carson Asby. Number 3, Lane Hansen. Number 10, Thomas Bedlam. And in goal, number 91, Jacob Hall. Please rise for playing the national anthem.
All right, getting ready for your varsity matchup between your Waterloo Warriors and the Mason City Mohawks. 17 minutes on the board. A lot of players from Mason City that aren't on the roster. Carter Tompkins is going to send it in deep. Logan Caldwell will chase. Up to the midboards. Buchan sends it back down low. Mason City cross ice pass will start out. Chip it in the zone. Caldwell from around his own net. Up to Reichertz, almost collected up his own pass. Hard pass by Tompkins. Logan Caldwell calling for it on the far side. Rasty now. He's got a little bit of room to skate. Knocked off of his line. Loeb holds his own. Rasty tries to make a move through the slot. Still can't get a pass. Still can't get it going. Buchan now picks it up, tries to find Harn at slot. Pad save. Comes right out underneath Rasty. Harn works to the far side. Up for Loeb. Loeb across the red line, or across the blue line rather. Kicks it around the backside of the net. Racy holds his own. Buchan picks it up. Works to the far side. Chips it. Him and Racy will go for a change. Around Harn. That was going to be off of the linesman. Harn sends it towards the net. Right in front. Coots. Backhander right into the chest of Barr. Barr's going to hold on to that one. Nobody there to help him out. Hild, Coots, and Zabel on the far side. Rowe and Harn. Coots wins it to Zabel. Pops straight up in the air. Zabel tries to shovel it to the corner. Coots has a dislodge. It ended up in his feet. Rowe tries to hold the zone and can't. Waterloo offsides, has to touch up. All the forwards drop in, cover a man. Mason City back the other way, looking for an outlet pass. Intercepted by Rowe. Rowe sends it back into the neutral zone. Mason City back into the Waterloo zone. Harn in front of his own net. Looking for Bushbaum. Found Caldwell. Kind of inadvertent bounce. Ended up on Bushbaum's stick. Back to Caldwell. Reichert sends one towards the net. Mason City back across. Caldwell's got some room. He's going to take it all the way into the corner. Shot deflected into the glass behind the net. Comes up to Buchan. Shot comes in. Bouncing puck loose in front. Push back around. Mason City will clear. Doesn't get but just to the red line. They'll send it all the way in and around. Graveman steps out to play it. Buchan from behind his own net. He's got it knocked off his stick. Works in the corner. Caldwell come away with it. Quick stop back the other way. Looking for Bushbaum. That one's going to go down. That will be icing on Waterloo. Back into the Waterloo zone. Rowe sends one up to Buchan. Buchan had a little bit of room. Harassed on the way. Loeb picks it up. Shovels one towards Buchan. Pass intercepted. To Rasty out front. Rowe holds the zone. Rasty to Buchan. Looked like he caught a funny edge. Tries to find Rowe. Back into neutral zone. Rowe picks it up. Looking for Buchan. Buchan can't keep hold of it. Graveman steps out to play it. Harn now from behind his own net loses the puck. He'll bring it all the way in. Chips it over all the way across the ice for Loeb. Loeb and Rasty in the skates of Loeb. Rasty now has Buchan breaking with him. Has it knocked off of his stick. Mason City will take over behind their own net. Cale Buchan sends it below the goal line. Mason City sends it around. Coots fires a shot off the pads. Hild will pick it up. Can't quite get to it as it rolls off of his stick. Zabel with a lot of speed looking for Coots in front. Pass deflected by Barr. That one's going to travel all the way around and out. That one might be icing. That one's going to hit Graveman in his own crease. Buchan looking for somewhere to go. Finds Hild on a break. To Coots. Off of the skates of Tompkins. Buchan with a backward shovel. Gets it back into the water or into the Mason City zone. Mason City back the other way. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Carter Tompkins gets a stick on it. Behind the Waterloo net. Zabel tries to chip it out, can't. Caldwell on the far side, over to Zabel. Looking for an entry and denied. Carter Tompkins looking to throw some weight around. Waterloo back around the other way. Carter Tompkins finds Bushbaum. Bushbaum's got some room. Has Caldwell breaking with him. Into the corner. And that was going to go down for, should be icing on this one. And it is. Back to the Mason City zone. Take a second and let's get some of our sponsors here for this season. Community Chevrolet of Cedar Falls, Racy Reynolds, Racy Appraisals Incorporated, Jerry and Judy Buchan, Highway 63 Diner, KCH Properties, Ronan Industries, Roger and Sandy Schoonover, Dolores White, Pam and Jeff Coots, AA Management, and Kurt Gross. Back to hockey action. Caldwell picks up on the far side on the red line. Reichertz chips it in. Not for long. Mason City comes right back out. Off of the blocker, travels to the corner. Reichertz will chip it out. Bushbaum will race towards it. Reichertz there to help out. Caldwell skates right over top of it. Harn trying to hold the zone and can't. 2-on-1 for Mason City. Pass got weak pass from Mason City. Ends up back towards their own zone. Graveman steps out from behind his own net. To the point. Off the skates of Reichertz. Racy skates over top of it. Reichert skates over top of it. Foot race. Racy and Buchan. Racy gets to it. Shot off the bottom of the net. Travels into the corner and back out of the zone. Tompkins with a reverse hit. That one's going to travel just past his stick. He drops back to cover it up, or to pick it up, rather. Kicks it out of the zone. Mason City kicks it right back in. To the far side for Buchan, or to the close side for Buchan. Up to Racy. Racy caught from behind. Can't get a shot off. Can't get a decent shot off. Carter Buchan double teamed at the midboards. Picks it up. Short angle shot. Off a bar to the far side. Tompkins sends one. Waterloo looking for Waterloo pulled their goalie, looking for gonna have a penalty here. Mason City's gonna have a penalty, rather. Down to Racy, looking in front for a couple of bodies. Tompkins sends one. That one travels wide. Caldwell steps in to Racy. That one's gonna end up on a Mason City stick, and delayed penalty will be called. 2 minutes for a cross check. That's going to be Relo. Waterloo on the first power play of the night. About 8.5 minutes into the period. One back to Harn. Harn to Buchan. Buchan looking for a shot across. Had Caldwell breaking, couldn't connect the pass. Buchan picks it up behind the net. Harn takes a look, walks the line, sends it to Buchan. Buchan walks in. Shot and a glove save by Barr. Had the looking for the top corner, glove side. Caldwell to the corner. That one's going to come all the way back up to Harn. Harn takes a look. Sends it to Cale Buchan. Mason City buries it in the corner. Cale comes out with it over to Harn. Harn sends it towards the net, sticked away by Barr. Carter Buchan holds the corner, and Mason City will clear. Harn in a foot race. Kicks it back into the neutral zone, finds Racy. Racy trying to leave it for Caldwell. Carter Buchan tried to bring it in. That was going to come way off sides. Surprised that one's not going to go all the way back down. Second shift power play. Tompkins, Rowe, Bushbaum, Loeb, and Reichertz. Reichertz pushed it through. He gathers it up. Travels just across the crease. Kicked all the way down by Mason City. Back to 47 seconds left to go in the power play for Waterloo. Tompkins will bring it up over to Reichertz. Reichertz sends it to the corner. Mason City will pick it up and try to clear. Blocked in front. Rowe steps in. Looked like a trip, but one-timer for Rowe. That one's going to get out of the zone. Tompkins is there to push it back. Mason City fires it into the close corner. Tompkins is there to pick it up. 7 seconds left to go. Over to Reichertz. Reichertz through two across the line. And Bushbaum snuck in a little too fast. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. The faceoff just outside the Mason City zone. Hild, Zabel, and Coots. Rowe and Harn. Cross ice pass. Back across ice for Mason City. Harn works on the far boards. Shot comes in just through the crease. Zabel to the far side. Blocked in front, into the slot. Bodies in front, travels just wide. High slot. Shot comes in and deflected. That one's going to go wide. Find the inboards. Another one tipped in front. Hild will pick a pocket. Finds Zabel into the neutral zone. He'll chip it into the far corner. Hild with some pressure. Mason City from behind their own net. Chips it up and out. Icing is going to be the call. No icing. Not sure on that one. Caldwell kicks it into the neutral zone. Mason City sends it all the way back. Tompkins taken out of the play. Not sure how that's not a call. Evidently the referee says let him play.
Let's go, Red!
Mason City wins it back. K.L. Buchan with some pressure. Tompkins on the far side. Harassed as he comes around the back of his own net. Up to Loeb. Loeb has it knocked off of his stick. To the far side, looking for some room. K.L. Buchan completely off sides. Takes a pass. That was going to come all the way back down, I believe. Mason City wins it back to the high slot. Over to the point. Shot. Travels wide and around the back side of the net. Missed pass. Caldwell will pick it up. Skates through with dominance. Short angle shot into the chest of Barr, and he was going to hold on. Face off to the far side. Seems like Waterloo might be playing a little bit reserved so far today. That one's going to get chipped out. Rose back to pick it up. To the far side. Reichertz tries to sidestep the defense. Has it plucked off of his stick. Bushbaum keeps it in. Trying to hold it on his stick. Caldwell makes a quick move right into the glove of Barr. That's going to be, we're going to need to get that goalie moving and instead of shooting it right at him. 3:42 left in the first. Coots wins it over to Hild. Far side. Coots trying to chip it in. Does. Barr steps out to play it. Tompkins holds it. Zabel. Lofted shot through the middle. That one's going to scoot past Buchan. Zabel in a foot race. Great effort by Jordan Zabel. Carter Buchanan, 1-on-4, can't hold the. Hild's tries to hold the zone. Rasty steps in to help out. Clearing attempt off of Rasty's shoulder. Another one past Buchan. That one's going to end up on the Waterloo bench. We're going to face off just outside the Waterloo zone. 2:45 left to go. Waterloo looking a little flat tonight.
Let's go, Red.
Face-off ends up on the Mason City stick. Rowe over to Harn. Harn looking for Buchan on the far side. Tipped in.
Get ready.
2-on-1 in the corner. Mason City will come away with it. Loeb tries to hold the zone. Can't. Racy comes away with it looking for a drop pass for Loeb. I don't think Loeb was ready for that one. Buchan and Racy on the far side. Buchan into the slot. Shot off of a shin pad. Travels to the corner. Buchan trying to dig it out. Loeb, I thought Loeb came away with it. Racy trying to pick one up. Another foot race. Racy gets a stick on it. Buchan will pick it up, kick it back out of the zone. Great play by Grady Rowe to keep him from getting a shot. He'll walk it to the center. Has it dislodged from his stick. Harn from behind his own net. Finds Caldwell. Caldwell to Bushbaum. Back to Caldwell. To Bushbaum. Bushbaum walks in. Shovels one up over top of the net. Might have been deflected by Barr. Not sure. High off the glass. Rowe gathers it up, sends it the other way. Caldwell skates over top. At center ice. Wrap around pass. Buchan's there to pick it up. Looking for a head of steam. Shoved off of the play. Reichertz will bring it up. Looking for a drop pass for Caldwell. Can't connect it. Tompkins holds his own. Racy to Bush from the middle. Reichert's looking for Bushbaum. Actually, that was Reichert's that had that great pass to Bushbaum. Couldn't quite get the trigger pulled. Nope. Reichert's back to Caldwell. Looking for Reichert's breaking through. That one's going to come out of the zone. Waterloo will have to chase. 13 seconds left to go. Maybe one last rush. Up to Loeb. Loeb trying to cycle, and Mason City kicks it back out. Icing called. 1.6. One quick shot for Waterloo right off the face-off. I've seen it happen. Kale Buchan. Push it right to the net. Waterloo just can't get a stick on it. Wide open side of the net. Great play by Kale Buchan to push it towards the net. Unfortunately, Mason City was there to shut down the open net shot. Waterloo teams will go to the locker room. Waterloo with 8 shots on net and 2 shots for the Mohawks. We'll take a look at some of our sponsors again for the 25-26 season. Franchise sponsors: Natural Glow, Bayer Motorsports LLC, American Pattern and CNC Works, MC Inc., 5 Seasons Tire, Tracy Putbreeze, Marilyn Payne, Dan and Lisa Putbreeze, Southridge Dental, B&D Drywall, Pat Kinsinger, Loeb Farms, Denise and Elaine Loeb, Tina Miller Woodsmall, Standard Distribution, Pratt's Pest Control, Lindgren Glass, Linda Gienow, Iowa Metal Recycling, Farm Bureau Financial, Taylor Zimmerman, West High Athletic Booster Club. We thank you all for your support for the season. We appreciate everything you've done. Couldn't do it without you guys. We'll be back in about 12 minutes here with the second period. Getting ready to kick off period number 2. Still scoreless. Once again, waiting for some referees. Take the ice. And once again, the ice is covered in puddles. Maybe they're just waiting for the ice to freeze. Or the water to freeze. Not sure if there's anybody else playing tonight. I was kind of looking for some scores. Caldwell set to take the draw. Mason City wins it back. They're going to throw it into the Mason City zone. Buchan shoved off the puck. Out front. Off a Bushbaum. Reicherts will gather it up. Reicherts across the line. Loses the puck. Mason City clears it. Looking for somebody out front. Nobody home. Send it back down. Tompkins will bring it up. Cross center ice. He's gonna send it in deep. Bushbaum takes a swipe at it. Loeb will bring it in. Through one, off the pads. That one's gonna fall well short. Harn sends it back in. Cale Buchan will chase. Comes back up to the point. Rasty can't quite get to it. Tipped by a Mason City player in front, almost finds its way behind bar. Another centering pass for Rasty. Rasty couldn't get a shot off. Harn sends a bouncer in. Barr plays it out front, leaves a big rebound. Mason City clears. Right, yeah, looks slow. Cale Buchan tries to work through the defense, gets tied up. Gets it back to Rasty. Buchan sends one in low, just wide. Rasty working in the corner, comes to the midboards for Harn. Harn wires one wide. Rose sends one towards the net. That was going to hit Barr in the pads. He's going to gather it back in and hold on. Puck tied up at the circle. Mason City kicks it out. Tompkins will send it back in. Coots and Hild race for it. Coots and Hild in the corner, trying to come up with it. Coots to Hild, not quite out front enough. Zabel pokes it free. Mason City kicks it out. They're going to send it the length of the ice. Tompkins is there. Kicks it to the boards and out. Mason City brings it back in off sides. Face off just outside the blue line. Doesn't look like the net sets down all the way on the over there. If it comes from the corner, it's going underneath that. Caldwell set to take the draw, pushes it through. Mason City back the other way. Not going to be icing. Puck drifts through the crease. Caldwell almost had a free shot. If he could have got it chipped loose, he would have been all alone. Off the boards and out. Mason City sends it right back in. Rowe will chase it through the corner. Centering pass for Mason City ends up back behind the net. Bushbaum tries to push it out, can't. Blocker save for Graveman. Reichert's trying to chip it free. Finds Bushbaum on the far side. Back to Reichert's. Reichert's to Caldwell. Caldwell looking for Bushbaum breaking through. Pass broken up by a sliding defenseman. Off the inboards for Rowe. Mason City will send it the length of the ice. Not going to get there. Buchan will pick it up. Travels behind his own net. Through one defender, around two, all the way in. Knocked off the play by Carney, I believe, number 6. Up to the point for Tompkins. Tompkins off the shin pads. Buchan, Carney finds Buchan once again. Knocks him off of his line. Carney or Carey, I can't tell for sure. Loeb almost has his head taken off coming from the backside of his net. Shot across the crease, and that's going to travel outside the zone. Cervantes sends it back in deep. Buchan's there to pick it up. Buchan to Hild. Long pass. Rasty back across the line. Another block shot. Hild works around. Rasty trying to tap it around a defender. Tompkins sends it back into the Waterloo or to the Mason City zone. Tompkins hits the brakes, comes back the other way. Looking for somebody on a break. Off the referee. Over to Buchan. Buchan with a swing pass, trying to hit Zabel. Tipped by Tompkins, looking for some room. Can't find any. Peterson will gather it up for Mason City. Send it out of the zone. Buchan with a fairly big hit on Byer, Bethel, something, can't tell. To the far boards and out. Peterson picks it up into his own zone, right in front of his own net. Swings it back around. Peterson looking for somewhere to clear. Quick glove by Lincoln Graveman. Shot comes in from the point. .10:35 left to go in the second. Waterloo shots are up by 7 now. Loeb has a stick dislodged from his hands. Racing the far side. Buchan gets a skate on it. Waterloo will clear. Loeb charges through to the red line. Offsides called by. Apologize for the beautiful save by Graveman. Puck still loose. And we're going to get a whistle blown. Net's off its moorings. We'll get a face off to the right side of Graveman. Beautiful save by Lincoln Graveman. Waterloo takes control behind their own net. Rowe finds Caldwell breaking out. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Caldwell pulls up, waits for the cavalry. Buchan in the slot. Pad save for Barr. That one's going to clear the zone, go down. That will be icing on Mason City, back into the Mason City zone. Caldwell wins it back, jumps over the stick and skates of Buchan. Buchan harassed on the play, loses control. Mason City will bring it in. Bushbaum and Caldwell work in the corner. Caldwell comes away with it. Hard wrap looking for Reichertz. Finds Reichertz. Reichertz will bring it out. Cross the red line into the shovels one towards Barr. Sticked away easily. Hild steps in to help out. Tompkins around the backside. Through the middle. Tompkins has some room to skate. Takes it to the outside, looking for a centering pass. Has it dislodged off of his stick. That one's going to leave the playing surface. Face off to the right of Barr. Just over 8.5 gone in the second period. Mason Harn looking for some guidance. Coots wins it back a little too far. Harn has to race back to it, back to center ice. Cervantes steps across. Graveman with a great save. Looked like he might have been screened by Harn on that. I'm not sure he even saw that coming. Hello from California. How you? Hope the weather's better out in California than it is here. It's starting to get cold here in Iowa. In Colorado, you're probably about the same as we are. You guys might have some snow there. Rasty set to take the draw. Loeb over to Buchan. Buchan's got some room. He's got one to beat. Tries to tuck it around Medlin and can't get it to go. Buchan with some pressure on Cervantes. Rowe's going to bring it up. He's got a little bit of room. He works all the way to the slot. Shot just past Barr on the far side. around row. It's going to be a foot race. Harn's going to get there. Sticked away by Graveman. Chipped out for Buchan. Buchan looking for Racy. Founds him just off the edge of his stick. Hooked on the play. Knocked down on the play in the corner. Harn picks the pocket over to Buchan. Buchan will drop in. High slot. Looking for a shot. Graveman stopped it once, let a rebound out. Racy was right there looking to tuck it away. Couldn't get a stick on it before Barr put a glove over it. Got a stoppage of play. 7 minutes to go in the second. Hello from Wisconsin. Thanks for tuning in. I know you guys got to be cold over there. Puck slips by. It's going to be another foot race. Buchan around behind his own net. Knocked off the play. Caldwell with a head of steam. Tries to scoot past, can't. Bushbaum steps in. Buchan walks the line, sidesteps, gets a shot. Stick save for Barr. Tompkins will hold the zone. Soft wrap left for Caldwell, back the other way. That one's going to get, Caldwell's going to shut it down at the midboards. Buchan holds it at the zone, back to Caldwell. Racy tries to find Caldwell. Caldwell hooked on the play, no. Still has his stick under the arm of Caldwell. Still no call. Back around. Buchan will send it in deep. Just wide of the net. Mason City takes their time to exit the zone. They're going to send it all the way down. He's got a trailer. Shot and another glove save for Lincoln Graveman. Racy set to take the draw. Find Harn. Harn's tied up in the corner. Racy peels it away. Loeb with some stick lifts. Buchan working to get it out of the, or Racy working to get it out of the zone. Rowe comes away with it. Loeb over to Buchan. Buchan has a bounce off of his stick around the backside, shoved on the play. Looking for a centering pass for Loeb. Buchan cut off behind the net. That one's going to go up into the stands. Another souvenir. Nope. We'll get it kicked back to the ice. 5 to go in the second, still scoreless. Buchan picks it up. Tries to get a shot off. Had a player go down right in front of him. Meyer sends it towards the net wide. Zabel's there to pick it up to Hild. Hild tries to kick it out. And does. He's got some room. Trying to find Coots. Coots shovels it towards the net. That one's going to come up to the point. Tompkins sends one. Hits Hild on the way through. Buchan sends it back in deep. Off the glass. Buchan gets a glove on it. Sends it back in. Waterloo has to touch up the offsides. Mason City looking for somewhere to go with it. Bushbaum steps up, but not in time. Mason City will clear. Should be icing, and it is. Back into the Mason City zone. Where else are we watching from tonight? Give me a shout. Reichert's set to take the draw this time. Tied up on the play, gets kicked back up to Harn. Harn fires one in off the pads of Barr into the corner. Mason City sends one the length. No icing is the call. Harn tied up. Caldwell swoops in. Pass intercepted. Reichert's Caldwell. Caldwell steps through the defense, has it dislodged from his stick. Looking for Bushbaum. Bushbaum had a quick touch on it. Thought Reichert's might have got a touch on it as well. Rose sends one to Bushbaum. Bushbaum, Reichert's. Caldwell to Harn. Harn shot drifts to the corner. Icing is going to be the call again. Bushbaum with a big hit on Relo. I think Relo just kind of bounced right off of him. Amy, thanks for tuning in from Chicagoland. Appreciate you. Looks like Buchan's going to take the draw this time. Changing a few things up. Last time Buchan took the face off, he put it right on, almost right on net. Had him looking for a rebound. Buchan tied up on the face-off. Mason City will come away with it just past the stick of Harn. Harn turns to send it out. Can't clear it. Loeb takes a look, finds Buchan breaking on the far side. Buchan's pockets picked. Rowe sends it back in, off sides. Waterloo has to touch up. Off of a player on the bench. Going to be outside the zone. It might have been off a player on the bench. Not quite sure. Just under 3 minutes left to go. Still scoreless. Loeb sends it in. Mason City brings it right back out. Across the blue line. Buchan tracks him through. Like Graveman might have got a stick on that one. Centering pass. Buchan looking to chip it out. That one's going to be off of Cervantes. And into the player bench for Mason City. Caldwell tries to push it through. It's like skated right over top of it. Buchan will chase. Looking to chip it up the midboards. Caldwell digs it out. Around one. Mason City sends it back in. Buchan, little touch pass to himself. Trying to find Bushbaum and can't. Sticked away by Graveman. Reichertz tries to chip it out. Cervantes holds it in. Buchan takes a look to the midboards. Nobody home. Not sure where Buchan was going with that pass. Up to the point. Steps in. Save. Another save for Graveman. 1.5 left to go. Cold night in Mason City's rink. One of the nicer rinks in the Midwest High School Hockey League. Buchan chips it out. Can't get it out of the zone. Rowe from around his own net to the far side. Buchan chips around one, chips around two. He's got Loeb with him. Buchanan shot off of the crossbar once again. They don't call him crossbar KO for nothing. Now we're going to get a penalty, number 10 for a rough. Jagger Rasty. Waterloo will be on a penalty kill. Not sure they can afford this.
What?
So not sure they can afford the penalty kill. Like we're going to run Harn, Buchan, Caldwell, and Rowe for the first shift, 55 seconds. Be about half of the penalty for Waterloo. Referee not happy with Waterloo bench. Not sure exactly what happened there, but Caldwell looking to clear and does. Buchan in a foot race. Almost had it picked. Caldwell steps in to help out. Caldwell with lots of pressure. 26 seconds. Almost picked again. Harn now from behind his own net. Stops, goes the other way, tries to push it past. Centering pass and rolls, kick it down. That's going to do it for the first half of the penalty. We'll go to the locker room still with no score. We'll come back with about 105 left in the penalty. Get a fresh sheet and grab some popcorn on the edge of your seat. Back in just a few minutes. starting off period 3 here in Mason City. Waterloo will start shorthanded for the next minute 5. Buchan, Caldwell, Harn, and Rowe. Buchan comes away with it. He's going to chip it in. Slow roll it to the corner. Caldwell looking to intercept a pass. Oh, Buchan, I would have thought he would have taken that one in all by himself. Him and Caldwell were on a break. Could have been on a break. Ice extremely wet. Shot wide for Mason City. Caldwell chips it to the corner. Buchan and Caldwell. Caldwell racing through. Almost led Buchan just a little bit. Caldwell trying to work into the slot. Puck gets tied up. Back to Mason Harn, over to Rowe. Rowe sends it the length of the ice. Barr will step out and play it. Stretch pass for Mason City. Icing is the call. Back to the other end. Two seconds, Waterloo full strength. Stretch pass for Mason City, they're gonna touch it in. Icing is the call. Mason City not quite to the red line. Chipped it the rest of the way down. Still a big puddle in front of Mason City's net. Buchan, Racy, Loeb. Racy kicks it to the corner. That was going to come wrapped around. Buchan will play it. Holds his own. Sends it back down below the net. Behind the net, rather. Looking for Buchan in front. Carter Buchan and Cale Buchan both take some pretty big shots right in front. Barr shucks them off. Racy over to Tompkins. Tompkins gains the red line and chips it in. Buchan drops in. Backhanded pass almost finds its way in front of the net. Tompkins intercepts a pass. Taken back over by Mason City and sent all the way down. Buchan, Carter Buchan behind his own net. Touch pass, Loeb to Coots. Looking to send it in, no icing. Barr goes down, Hill to race for it. Mason City clears the zone. They don't clear the zone. Harn walks in, fires, pad save for Barr. Hill now on the close boards. Mason City can't clear it. Zabel sends it back around. Coots on the far side will pick it up. To Hild in the middle. Rowe tries to hold it. That was going to scoot just past him. Icing on Mason City. Caldwell Reichert's bush bomb. Caldwell wins it back to Rowe. Rowe wires one. Drifts wide. Caldwell's on the midboards to pick it up. Reichert's tries to gather it up in the middle. Standing on the doorstep. Waterloo can't gather it up. Harn will send it back in for Reichert's. Reichert's on the midboards. Works into the slot. Has Rowe. Rowe sends it towards the net. That was going to be deflected by Medlin. Travels in front. Waterloo can't get a stick on it. Harn around one. Sends it in. Mason City clears his own once again. Not for long. Rowe finds a spot. Sends it back down. Spin move for Cervantes. He'll send it in. That's going to be icing. Not quite sure he knew where he was on the ice. Or maybe just looking for a shift change. Regardless, back into the Mason City zone. Tied up on the play, Buchan. Loeb actually looking for somewhere to go. Raisty chips it loose. Loeb's looking for Buchan out front. Takes a swing at it, trying to dislodge it off of a Mason City stick. Loeb had it for just a second, looking for Buchan in the slot. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Cross the crease, can't connect a pass. Carter Buchan will bring it back up into the high slot all the way across. Short angle shot off of the stick of Barr. Buchan cross ice, and now we're tied up somehow. Loeb and Relo are sounds like Relo might have been tied up, knocked the net off its post there. Coots wins, comes back with a draw. Shot wide. Rose stops it from leaving the zone. Hild works on the close boards. Can't find it. Mason City will clear. Rowe bouncing puck, kicked in by Medlin. Coots with a sidestep. Over to Zabel. Harn sends it in cross ice into the corner. Zabel charges in, makes him make a pass. That one's going to go, no icing is going to be the call. Graveman kicks it to the corner in front. Harn tracks it down. Shot comes in from Medlin from the point. Graveman gobbles it up and holds on. A lot of chatting on the way back to the benches. Face off to the left of Graveman. Caldwell set to take the draw. Caldwell drives through. That looks like interference if you ask me. Mason City back across. Reichertz leaves it for Caldwell. Caldwell sends it right on net. Reichertz will drop in. Barr will hold on. I don't think he had any intentions on letting that one go. He was just kind of waiting for some time to run off and waiting to get a whistle. Buchan comes away with it. Tompkins off the pads, gathers it back up. Oh! Easy stick save for Graveman. Equipment once again. Equipment dislodged from Aiden Loeb. Caldwell set to take the draw. Bangs it through. Mason City clears. Cross check to Mason Harn. Waterloo on the power play. Parker Page takes 2. Up in Michigan, Copper Harbor. Thanks, Eric Rowe, for tuning in. Carter Buchan over to Harn. Back to Rasty. Rasty, another shot right to the midsection of what's his? Alec Barr? Alex Barr? I'm not sure if that's his first name, but nonetheless, right to his midsection. He's just gonna stop those with ease. Caldwell trying to gather it up. That one's gonna travel the length of the ice. Excuse me. Mason Harn behind his own net. To Carter Buchan. Carter Buchan chips it around. Can't get back to it, and that one's going to travel back the length of the ice. Carter Buchan not on his game tonight. Cale Buchan, his brother, travels across the red line into the zone, tries to send it deep and has it chipped off of his stick. Harn back to Buchan. Buchan chips it in deep, and he'll go for a change. Caldwell stops it at the midboards, looking for the cavalry. Nobody's home. Carney will bring it all the way down, looking for a shorthanded goal. Ends up in the center pads of Lincoln Graveman. Keeps Mason City off the board. Caldwell and Medlin have a little chat on Caldwell's way back to the bench. Reichertz takes the draw. It's going to end up behind. Waterloo beat to the puck. Mason City trying to hold it. He hit it clear off. It was clear offsides. He was outside the zone when he gloved it down. Reichertz now with a little bit of room to skate, showing some speed across the blue line. Works down in the corner. Keeps working around the outside. Deflected. Page steps in, tries to wire one off the pads of Tompkins. That's going to end up in the protective netting. Waterloo looking a little lethargic in the third period. I think we might have got off to a slow start, and looks like we might be running out of gas. Caldwell wins it back, jumps off Cervantes' stick and out of the zone. Back in, Harn around his own net. He's going to send it down, looking for Reichertz. Icing is going to be the call. Back into Waterloo zone. Like we're going to leave Caldwell, Bushbaum, and Reichertz out. Mason City wins it clean. Reichertz intercepts a pass. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Reichertz through 2. Caldwell tries to get it back up to the point to Mason Harn. Shot goes behind Graveman. Back to the corner. Out of the Waterloo zone. Peterson brings it up. Meets a little bit of resistance from Buchan and Bushbaum. We're going to get a... Buchan's going to take another penalty. He'll sit for 2 for interference. Bushbaum had him tied up and tried to put a shoulder in. It's Buchan. 2 minutes for interference. Bushbaum already had him tied up and he hit him besides, so you can't do that. Racy wins it back to the corner. Mason City there to pick it up. They'll circle around. Carney cross ice pass tipped by Racy. Racy's going to get there first, I think. He's going to send it all the way around back out of the zone. Tompkins there to pick it up. Tompkins looking for somewhere to go. Racy takes looked like he might have taken a stick to the side of the head. No call. Loeb. Off of Caldwell's shin pad and into the player bench. Face-off just outside the Mason City zone. Caldwell tried to sweep it back. Harn chips it back out, leaves it for Buchan. Buchan tries to get up off the glass, ends up in the equipment. That'll go back down. No icing called. Waterloo shorthanded. 1 minute left to go in the penalty. Drive shut down by Buchan and Caldwell.
Let's go, Kale.
Cervantes brings it in around 2. Tries to tuck it short side. Cleared by Tompkins. Peterson brings it in. Has his pocket picked by Tompkins, and Buchan will clear. Caldwell circles for a line change. Bushbaum, Racy, Iverson, Rowe. Bushbaum sends it the length. That was going to drift right. Could have drifted right to the front. 8 seconds left to go in the Buchan penalty. Mason City has one more drive. Byer on the close boards. Centering pass, kicks it back out to the corner. Wraparound, that's going to get all the way through. Rowe chases to the midboards. Rowe looking to send it back out. Finds Racy. Racy and Reichertz 2-on-3 to the corner for Reichertz. That's going to come back out. Mason City with a head of steam. 2-on-3. Rulo bumped off the play, looked like he kicked at him as Rowe went past. Icing called on Waterloo, back into the Waterloo zone. Mason City drops it down to the goal line. Centering pass, shucked away by Tompkins, I believe. Kicked out by Hild. Offside called. Face off back outside the zone on the far boards. Center, actually. Racy to Tompkins. Tompkins will send it in. Wraps it all the way around. That's just an automatic turnover for... Tompkins kicks it back in. Loeb will go get it. Tompkins picked the pass off. Racy trying to hold the zone and can't. Looked like offsides to me, but I'm just a dad in the stands. Tompkins on the far boards, looking for Buchan. Buchan looking for his brother. Has it knocked off of his stick. Back onto the stick of Mason City. Caldwell steps in, has his pocket picked just as he crosses the line. Offsides once again. I think that one actually might have been onside, but he called it for the last one that was offsides. We're just trying to catch up. Caldwell, Hild, and Reichertz. 3.5 left to go in regular time. Harn looking for Hild. Hild, a short pass, can't find Caldwell. Mason City intercepts and takes over. Back to Harn. Harn looking for Hild through at the red line. Can't gather him up. Oh no! Hild. Waterloo looks like they're going to take another penalty. Caldwell is going to be 2 minutes for tripping. Not happy about the call. Waterloo back on the penalty kill. Three to go. Waterloo needs to pull something out of their pocket here. Racy wins it to the corner. And they'll send it the length of the ice. Mason City will stack. They'll leave one back. Buchan charging in, looking for a interception. Shot from the point, just wide. Carter Buchan hit by Carney on the midboards. Mason City wins it back. Cross ice pass. Kicks it behind the net. Buchan tries to pin Peterson. Buchan and Racy will skate out. Pass to Racy is tipped in front. Couldn't get a stick on it and then's hit after the play. Carter Buchan slides in looking for something. Waterloo needs to pick the pace up just a little bit here. High slot down to the goal line. Mason Harn chips it out. That's going to get just outside the zone. Reichert's looking to push it through. Buchan's got one to beat. Takes it to the middle. Shot. Still sending in front. Tompkins sends one in off of the glove. Barr will hold on. Buchan there looking for a rebound. A lot of pressure by Waterloo. They just can't find a way to get behind Barr. .12 seconds left to go in the Caldwell penalty. Reichert's, Bushbaum, Rowe, and Tompkins. Rowe kicks it down below the goal line. 7 to go on the Caldwell penalty. Cross the blue line. 2-on-1. Caldwell brings it in over to Reichert's. Reichert's once again into the midsection of Barr. Barr makes a great transition to keep Waterloo off of the board. Timeout, Mason City. Waterloo with some point blank opportunities have actually got the goalie to move a little bit, but he's just reading every pass. Makes great transition. Not to discredit Lincoln Graveman. Lincoln's come up with some great saves. I think the greatest one is the toe save on the breakaway. Horn sounds. Let's see who we're going to put out for the next 51 and a half seconds. Looks like we're going to stack a line. Buchan, Rasty, Caldwell, Harn. Face off to the left of Barr. Buchan comes away with it. Held on the play. Comes out to Harn. Harn sends it back in. Waterloo has to touch up on the offsides. Chipped up and through. Can't find. Caldwell was still in the neutral zone looking for a pass. Stretch pass, and that's going to go down. We're going to get no icing call. Mason Harn tripped on the play. Up to Rasty. Rasty trying to push it through, gathers it back up. He'll skate all the way across. We're going to call it clean going through. Rebound comes back to Logan Caldwell, and he finds a way to get past Barr. Low blocker side. Logan Caldwell tips the scales with 4.2 seconds left in the game to put the Warriors up by 1. Let's go, boys. They're going to play with 6, so we can play with 6, right? Carter Buchan with the assist. And that'll do it. Waterloo win over the Mason City Mohawks 1-0. I'll give another shout out to California, Colorado, Wisconsin, Chicagoland, and UP, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We appreciate you guys watching. Tune back in tomorrow night. We'll be down in Cedar Rapids to take on the Rough Riders. 6-8 again. Appreciate you guys watching. Come back and see us.